It's gonna be in the way.
Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Did you put some down in there, Carol, or no?
Yeah.
Post office?
Yeah, I already got an order from it.
Oh, thank you.
Then I put the flyers up and I gotta bring some more push pins. So, cause I
Good.
didn't have it, they're a bugger to put in there. But I did put a bunch and then I'll check it.
Hey, that, come here for a minute, on this
Or I'll have Melissa check it.
Zoom thing, we,
I was,
I heard somebody yawn.
I know.
That's after that's what it
oh, but I'm gonna ask is if we can do it up by the panel.
No, when I
They have
put them together.
capabilities, because it's a nice area. But I have
Do you need
to,
a letter of intent for that?
I have to, talk to Kelly and he hasn't been there when I've been so,
yeah, I'm sure he,
I'm working on
Interested.
stuff for the year end and it's been crazy, but yeah,
I
that's
see
my,
you
I
can-
don't do that or I might be able to do it downstairs.
Do you want?
There's tables and chairs down there.
No, I got you on
I just
file.
don't wanna do it where it's confining.
I can only appoint two official
oh
ones,
shit, I was gonna say, we're looking at doing it.
but you can be the third or the second.
One of their rooms.
We'll send you to the
Going
class.
further.
Has there been any interest from people? Has there?
That's all you had?
Yeah.
Once you're on that ain't no good, you want them to?
Then we're gonna go through
I
ours.
heard back from Billy,
They would never fit nothing.
From who?
from Billy.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
So maybe we'll have to take his place if I don't hear
I
from
don't
him
even know
by
what they
6
all are.
o'clock.
Well, you're the treasurer.
I know, that's what I gotta find out. Hi, Ray.
Hey, how you doing? The clock hasn't been
This is
changed.
simply just my
Time
table
change.
for a moment.
Hey,
No,
Sit over, where are we gonna sit? What?
well, there's all sorts of.
I tell you what, I can move up here. You can have this in this because I just use this as a table. There you go.
Oh, here, that's
No,
right.
no, you take that.
Oh. Red blue. Make me look too far in here.
Dottie, that's right. I knew it was a D name.
Yeah.
You're originally from Powers, are you not?
I am. And who are you?
Mark Shane, I talked to you on the phone a couple times.
Okay, yeah.
Scotty's the one who told me that you were from Powers, Milwaukee.
Who did that?
Scotty?
Oh,
Yeah.
right, yes. Sure. Yes, I went to junior high. Is it this? No, the other, it got turned down, right? The old junior high, Kernsville
Yep.
Junior High? Yeah.
Yep.
So Carol, did you come up with the time? We can talk. I can't do it on Saturday morning because I'm gonna be taking pizza orders. That's right. Phasers. Okay. From 9 to noon, so I was like, that I got committed to, so I didn't know if like, I don't know what time we're gonna stay there till. I said 9 to noon, but if it's going good, we might stay a little longer, so then I'm like, go for it. That's why I said maybe Sunday.
Sunday, whatever.
I mean,
Billy
I
will be
mean,
number
yeah.
3, because
Or
he's
even
taken the
after
class
work.
before.
I mean, whatever, yeah, if you don't wanna waste
I
your
don't think
Sunday, then I'm good with
It's all
Sunday.
3 at the same time.
So you tell me.
If, I mean, you never know.
That's the only thing I was thinking, cause Sunday I'm
Have
like,
you got
I always
coyote
get
traps out, Mark?
caught up on.
Not yet,
things,
waiting for a
yeah.
hunt.
So I was debating,
My
otherwise,
son was,
it's hard, you know,
a week ago this
but
past weekend.
maybe right away
out at
Sunday
camp.
morning, it shouldn't take
100
that
yards
long
from
to do a
camp.
journal entry like
Found a
that.
dead buck.
And then
A
W-2s
6
for
nice one. You
10 people.
know, sort of cut the head off. and Stuff
Okay.
like that. He wanted
Did
to-
you have to?
I don't know because
if you
it's
electronic.
insulting, but
Real
right
camp.
Did you have?
in front of the
Sign a
handicap
certain
area,
That was
Print
left.
them?
somebody's gonna go
Forms.
down.
Notified
Holy
him.
smokers, I
Take
took a picture of it, that's terrible.
Big
Yeah,
picture
Gail
of it.
was coming with his walker.
Paper form, so careful.
Because it was
Oh,
all
somebody's
so-
somebody's
so-
gonna take a picture. Cheryl
I'll
said they
throw
just
some
put them
salt,
out.
please.
I looked for some by the door, but there wasn't
Maybe
any.
then she'll let Tyler
They
be
don't
filed
have
for the
friends,
rest.
this is-
Yeah, well, I do that all the time, but
That doesn't take long.
my line of work, that's a lot of good.
But should you do the quarterlies and all?
Yes, because we just did the November state withholding and,
But you do the December, which is due
Hi, strangers.
Monday.
right.
And then you have to,
How
and
you doing?
then you have to have everything reconciled to
I
make sure everything
recognize
is
traveling around Christmas is
Yeah,
not
that's
very
right.
smart. I
Yeah.
almost didn't make it home. I got delayed in Frankfurt for,
I can't use
yeah,
I know.
longer than what I wanted.
So,
What is your normal, maybe
Smart.
scheduled hours here, or?
no, not yet, not until we know we can work. Like I'm down here, it's,
Well, right, unless you're
Yeah.
collecting or,
right.
okay.
It's okay, just give me a yell.
All right, probably Sunday morning,
Fine. Okay.
but
Any computer yet?
Nothing exciting.
Says it's just-
Oh, my gosh.
I know, that's been a better month.
Generally
speaking, in my life.
I guess they had such a good deal, anybody wanted one.
No.
Well, that's, so that we just.
Not getting anybody's money but my
Yeah,
own.
and it's funny, they give us free 2
I have
weeks.
enough time to
I was like,
do my
oh
own
wow,
track.
they give, like,
Yeah.
right after Christmas or right before, and of course it got a month.
Yeah.
So this was one of our
We're still
adventures.
patiently waiting to be able to raise some
I got charged
holidays.
like 2 days ago, so that's good.
Yeah.
Just on, private message
And
here
then
and
every
there.
day we were, and then we
Christmas
was
Eve church service, no, she didn't.
Oh, those is in the box?
No, she didn't, she wasn't feeling up to par, so she passed on coming up. I
But
said,
if you
"Yeah,
wanna
that's the
put
best
those,
thing."
I did have the software ready to go.
That's all right.
Thank you.
CDs to get forward.
Okay.
I can start putting that.
yeah, that was bad.
Like on computers that
I watched that every morning.
Okay.
I have access to, well, this one, but not this one.
I know,
I can do that one.
Text her, I just wanted to ask her how she was.
You got that banner box.
I couldn't throw it out, but
Uh,
I said, "Sure." So I was like, something's gonna go down.
No, for sure.
No, the other one now is cheaper.
Okay.
But it has the same functionality.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's bad,
Okay.
bad, bad,
You
bad.
can make PDFs and edit them.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really good.
What's the name of it?
Gotta look it up. I didn't commit to memory.
All the names.
I know, like you were saying, it melts a little bit during the day, and you don't realize
Well, I
it.
didn't realize how much.
And then,
That's
I
great.
know, and then it gets cold.
In the morning.
compared to what it's been, it was like 30,
Felt like a
30 some
heat.
degrees this morning.
31.
For 2 days, and then we're gonna get 2 or 3 days. Sunday's supposed to go, and then stay there for part of the week.
Yeah.
Not complaining about that.
Monday and Tuesday is gonna be hard.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm glad I work indoors.
That's what I told you, I'm so glad that I'm not stressed. Like, I mean, it's been a lot of years since I've done it, but I haven't forgotten.
I know my ice was
How was
frozen
it?
my trough. I had lots of ice on. Even though I have a heater, it got,
Okay, just so then I can,
I had horse. I had
Check
3.
it out.
Oh,
Now I
nitro
only have 1
PDF.
left.
nitro, okay. I've
So
heard
my
of
niece took
nitro.
hers up to where she is.
It's a Pro 10 version.
Okay.
They come with,
They want me to
four
get
six
those,
access
but I don't
to
know.
that one.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're talking about it.
Yeah.
Mr. Bobby?
See you
I
coming.
think there's 6 months. That could be, it's still good. It's really $20, you can't beat it. Yeah, it's just-
I
It's a station.
can, as long as you don't bite.
As long as you pay for it, you're done.
Then we're good.
That's what, yeah, that's what we need.
Hi, Dave.
Hey there.
Don't put boogers in the paper.
Yeah, no.
Oh my God.
Somebody give you an estimate on all the scenarios. Because losing a 3,800 increase the windows are expensive now.
Yeah, very nice.
You think of Saxon and you call it and you give it a bid on there.
See what I can do.
We don't know if there's anybody in there, actually, yeah, you do. You know, so. We're gonna try anyway, we're gonna have somebody else on, because we don't want money right here, you know. Okay. 3,000.
What's this?
Supposed to sign in, I guess?
One.
It's up to you. That's what years ago.
It's like when you were at work, you had to go in and sign in so they could say you didn't do it right, but you were at the training, so you better do it right. Remember those days?
I don't want to touch it, everybody's touched it, I won't touch it, I don't want the germs.
Just sign this and hold it.
Yeah, if you hold it, I'll use my own pen.
She'll sign it.
If you hold it for me.
Why am I talking?
No, everybody else is. Here, can you turn it?
Ray has cooties, you don't want him to touch it, Jamie.
Oh boy, does this look terrible. People are gonna think I can't write. Oh my goodness, I already better with my left hand. They know who I am here.
I got it, thank you.
Oh, that's your pen.
You already had it, baby.
Oh, did you? All right.
Your glasses, David?
What's
You
that?
wanna borrow my glasses?
I didn't even look, I just signed on the horse.
Carol, are you in too?
I'm on there.
Alright.
Thank you.
She's up to 4 footers.
Huh?
She's up to 4 footers.
Oh.
We spend more money on computers since I went from to this township meeting than every day we update them to get it over.
Yeah, there was only, that's my room too. There was only discussion on most of the problems that we get donated and what we can't. Because we decided to use the type of stuff.
Call the meeting to order, please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
But we just keep all other forms or we're gonna do like this, there's only here.
Does anybody have anything to add to the agenda?
Put a piece of paper up there, $50 and
Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Yeah, I noticed it was out there.
Mark, second by Linda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Bills, minutes, treasurer's report.
I have one on the bills for WDM, how come they only they're getting half a payment? He called me again for when they fixed the heat down here. Remember that happened the last time too?
Yeah.
That must have been last month. I think.
I don't know, the first thing they sent me only had the balance I paid them on it, and then the second one had an additional part below it. That wasn't on the first one. So did that happen again?
Maybe I'll have to check with Brian's wife. Let's see.
treasurer already?
No, not yet.
Oh, good.
Do I have a motion to approve
Rest
the
one.
bills, minutes, and treasurer's report?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mark, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Linda, all those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carried. All right, next we have Dottie from QPAD to talk to us about the recreation plan
All
review.
right. I guess I'll just, I'll stand over here. So anyway, thank you so much for having me. I understand you folks are ready to start a recreation plan, and that's great. I mean, that's something QPAD does. We've been doing that kind of thing for like over 50 years. A little background for those that aren't familiar with QPAD. We are an organization that was created through counties coming together. There was special legislation happened back in 1968. Counties all formed a coalition to create a regional government because that's what legislation allowed them to do. UPCAP was part of that. If anyone's familiar with UPCAP, we're actually a division of UPCAP. We branched off in about 1975 and became something of an economic development and local government assistance kind of function. And so that's our role. So we help facilitate economic development, but we believe in doing that through making our local units of government stronger and more prosperous and able to do their work. So we really help with the local capacity issues. You know, when you need something like a planning document, then we're here to help. We're not funded like typical local units of government. We're funded by membership dues and then also contract services and admin fees for grants. We also administer a lot of grants through state departments, everything from working with Eagle, materials management right now is a big deal, and MDOT, transportation funding, rural task force, if anyone's familiar with that, working with the road commissions, congratulations. You guys are getting it. Oh, I can't say anything? Okay, never mind. Okay, I'm sorry. Horse and buggy from now on. All the way to Faith Hard. Anyway, so anyway, we do a lot of those things. So say for example, I don't think we have a grant, but we have another grant. So we have 6 counties anyway. So it's Elder, Delta, Dickinson, Menominee, Schoolcraft, Marquette, and I think that was it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, that's what we do, and so so when you guys called and asked if we could talk, I could come and talk to you. So I won't be your person though. Actually, I'm just here. My person with QPAD. Her name is Jessica Walter. You'll love her. I promise. She is great. And she just did the Brampton Township Recreation Survey. So I think we talked about what the DNR requires with a 5-year recreation plan, because really the 5-year recreation plan is something that the DNR requires. Yes, you can individualize it as much as possible, as much as you can, but like the contents is really regulated by the DNR. I mean, they want to see very specific things the way they want to see them, and so so we help you through that process. They want to make sure that you have a public hearing. They want to make sure that the public hearing is notified within a particular time prior to the public hearing. There has to be very specific information in the public hearing that says the plan is not only available, say, for review at the Township Hall, but it's also for review at the library. It's in how to get there and to make sure that it's accessible to people of all abilities. So, and then of course it requires that there are 2 types of public comment period. So one would be a survey and another one would be the public hearing process. Then the public hearing is conducted after a 30-day public review period. And I kind of ran that backwards, so that's probably a little confusing, but it goes in the newspaper, says where it's going to be for the 30-day public review period, and then the public hearing comes after that. And then the township board adopts it, and then QPAD helps you work, well, we work with whoever you want to designate as authorized official to go into the portal, because every state department has a portal that you have to learn how to access and that sort of thing. And so we help you through that, because actually that's on the start of that, because, I'm sorry, because you will have to designate QPAT as a consultant. So early on, Jessica's gonna ask who wants to be the authorized official. Usually it's the highest elected official or manager or whatever. And then you do that. You make QPAT a consultant so that as we complete the steps that are required with the 5-year recreation plan, we're inputting that into the system. So at the end of the whole the entire plan process, then all we have to do is hit send, or the authorized official hits send. So anyway, so we talked about a recreation survey, and that's where you really get a chance to chirp in about what you'd like to see happen. And that goes into your plan. And that's what the DNR looks for when you submit a grant application then, the following year, saying, yes, this is what we'd like to do. And by the way, it's in a 5-year recreation plan. This is what we're doing. So this is a sample. This is Brampton Township, but you guys can see basically how we like to do it. But if you have suggestions, now these questions are not, of course, they can be personalized for you guys. And I have other copies here too, if other people would like to see that. But the first thing, the most important thing about a recreation survey is getting that to the people so that they know that there's a survey going on. And we know that everybody receives information different ways. Some people like a paper copy, that's me. Some people like to go online. Some people want to get it in the mail, you know what I mean? Some people pick it up at the Township Hall. However, whatever works best for the community, what's important is that the survey gets out to the community members and that they fill it in and they bring it back so that we can record that information. And then we show you the information that we gathered from the community and what the community wants to see happen. And then we begin to compile the information. We'll take a look at various. We'll take a look at your population. We'll take a look at your demographics. Demographics are very telling, but I will tell you it's a national issue actually, but it's very, very much evident in the Upper Peninsula that everybody has an aging population, right? So that also helps guide what sort of recreation planning you do, because now instead of looking at, bungee jumping, you guys might be looking at walking trails. So that's something, and I know that you talked about the lake. So that's definitely something that we wanted to bring forward in the recreation plan. We want to talk about the lake, the value of the lake to the community, and what can be done there. The grants, we can talk a little bit about the grants because it should make clear that you have to have a 5-year recreation plan registered with the Department of Natural Resources in order to qualify for recreation grants. And there's a couple different ones that are real popular. One is the Natural Resources Trust Fund grant. Have you guys received any of those?
We never did any of that.
Okay. So the Natural Resources Trust Fund grant is the largest sum of money, and I honestly don't know what that is this year, but it typically hovers around between $300,000 to $400,000. And you typically have to come up with about a 25% match, and you have to show that you have that match available. There's other documentation you're going to have to show when you submit the grant. You're going to have to show that you own that property. There's going to be a site control form that you have to fill out. There's going to be various documentation. And so that's where, again, that authorized official is available and can help, give us the information we need. It always seems like the deadline for the grant is always April 1st every year. And no matter how much you think you are ready for it, it's like you're always up against that deadline. I don't know how that happens, but it does. And so if you guys have never had a grant, that actually puts you in a unique position for a grant. The DNR adds special points to the grant point system. So that can be a benefit. I tend to push back a little bit on how, you know, some of the extra points that they put on there, because they also want to see that you're, oh gosh, what are some of the crazy ones they have? Must be on a Great Lakes, you know what I mean? Not everybody is on the Great Lakes. Yes, we're in Michigan, a lot of people are, but not everyone is. So, so I always take kind of issue with those things, but I think you guys might be in a good position. As long as we have a well thought out plan going forward, it certainly should.
We have done DNR grants though.
Okay,
Because the point one was a waterway, I believe it was.
waterway grant, yeah.
DNR, we did that one with, and the pavilion was, I think the pavilion at the bottom was recreation. Is that
Okay,
what it was, Bob? I think it was, yeah.
okay. So, good, yeah. So, I will say this then, you, when we submit the 5-year recreation plan, you will have to come up with a post-completion reports. And what those are is to demonstrate that the money that the DNR has invested in the past for recreation property is still there.
Yeah.
And they're going to want to see a plaque.
The plaques are.
Yeah,
they're there.
okay, good,
Yeah.
good. As long as you have the plaques and you take a picture, otherwise, you actually have to, when you submit for a grant, you have to say, yeah, I'd like 2 plaques because we lost one,
Yeah.
or something like that, so.
They're still there.
Okay, yeah. Does anybody have any questions?
So our first step would be to do the survey then?
That's what I recommend, because
Yeah.
that really will help guide the focus of the plan. Yeah.
So Chad, are we surveying the whole point area where we're gonna put camp area, or what are we talking about?
Yeah, we would have to, well, you're talking survey with the people.
Yeah, so this is.
Yes.
So the general public
Yeah, so
survey.
survey,
Oh,
right, yeah, I know,
Okay.
yeah. So that depends on engineering, and that would be probably before your grant application if you wanted
Right.
to do something like that. But a lot of times, it's not that specific, it's after if you have been awarded, then you have to come up with, you have to have a grant professional that helps survey the area, demonstrates exactly how spatially
Sign it all over.
the whole site plan. And then if you're talking campground, and I don't know what you have for utilities there, or if you want to do rustic, or if you're thinking about doing electric, and if you're doing a full service campground, I'm not quite sure. Or some campgrounds start out small. They start out with okay, we'll make a few that are, where people can pull through with their larger units, and then there'll be other rustic ones, and then just kind of, more and more, add more units, apply for more funds to add more, bring more spaces on with electric and sewer, so, yeah, water and sewer. So, yeah, so the survey, yes, but that's to get the community feedback as far as what they'd like to see as far as recreation.
And then you had also said when we talked on the phone that we have to approve contracting with you to move forward with this, right?
That's true, but I'm going to let Jessica go ahead and take care of that. You know
Okay.
what I mean? So I'm just here because she had to be in Munising tonight.
Okay.
So, and I wanted to make sure that at least you had a chance to look over the survey and understand the process, as far as how we get that out there to the people. There's usually a length of time, maybe 30 days or something like that. So it's good if we want to stay on track with that, of course we won't be able to hit the February 1 deadline, for example. So in the February 1, I bring that up because the DNR requires that you have your recreation plan, your new recreation plan has to be approved by the DNR by February 1 for you to apply for or qualify for a grant application by April 1st. So obviously we have plenty of time, for next year. And that's great, because we'll be able to get nice pictures and,
You must know Stacy Hoy.
Steve, yeah, oh yeah,
That's-
absolutely.
that's who I deal
Oh,
with
so she's
at
probably,
DNR,
yeah, so she's probably,
Yeah.
great this area for sure.
Another Doors girl.
Yes.
I also have everything here from our most recent one,
Okay,
so I don't know if you guys have that on file too.
well,
but That'd be a basis to build off of.
sure, is that, and I'll let you hand that off to Jessica. I can see myself losing it. So,
It's been a few years.
2019 is when it expires.
was that with QPAD? Okay, okay, good. Yeah, so it's, honestly, I don't know that, the requirements have changed that dramatically. I think the grant coordinator with the DNR is very thorough, Mary Carlock. And, yeah, so she, she wants to make sure there's certain things that are in place. One of the things, or she'll just kick it back, and sometimes people get a little frustrated with that, especially if you're up against a deadline. One of the things she's really, really picky about is when you have your public hearing, she wants the minutes properly recorded the way they should be. She wants to know that you opened your regular meeting, you closed your regular meeting, you opened up your public hearing, you followed the public hearing process, you closed your public hearing, then you made a decision, right? So she wants to see that very clear in the minutes, and then she wants the minutes to be certified. So, and that's a little statement at the bottom where the clerk signs off saying, I, name of clerk, do certify that the information is accurate and correct, and then signs her name or something. So it doesn't have to be lengthy, it just needs to be present and there, because otherwise she will say, no, you can't just hand us, portions of minutes, and she wants to make sure. And I don't think that she gets to be the key, you know what I mean? It's like, but she has inserted herself at that level. So, and sometimes that's a little frustrating, but it is what she expects. So,
Well, it's good to know that ahead of time.
yes, it is, because otherwise it can be, and then also, I will say, it's very important when, and it depends how Jessica wants to do this, she might say something like, you guys go ahead and put the public hearing notice in the newspaper or whatever newspaper you want. So say, for example, if we say, okay, the Menominee County Journal, we can put it in that, but it also maybe makes sense to have it in the Daily Press, and maybe you also want it in the Luff's Advertiser. Well, Luff's Advertiser, it doesn't qualify as a, what do they call it? Something.
I know what you're.
Yeah. So it's not a certified, newspaper kind of thing. It's more like just a local publication.
But
So
the county journal is.
The County Journal is, absolutely. I think the County Journal, though, doesn't come out on, it only comes out 2 times a week?
Once a week.
Once a week, okay. So I think that's sometimes a challenge, so sometimes we do both. So we do the Daily Press because we know that a lot of people in Menominee County align with, also with what's going on in Delta County. So we tend to do both that way, and then we have that notarized by the newspapers so that we can definitely say that, yes, it was printed in this newspaper, which meets all the requirements of the DNR, and it was published on this particular date. But I guess where I was going with that is that you have to make sure that you are allowing for, and this is ADA accessible, right? But it's good Township Hall, accessible, say something about that, accessibility, people can come in, they can attend the public hearing. Those are the kinds of things that, like I said, they just want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to participate.
I just have one question.
Sure.
Regarding the public survey, if there's more negative than positive about this outcome, is that going to sway us
Not at
having
all.
the ability to
Not at all.
get
Not
this
at
done?
all.
No?
We don't know, and honestly, we get some pretty amazing responses.
Okay.
Recreation? What recreation? We don't have any recreation in
A
this
lot of people
township.
don't know what we have back there.
Yeah,
They
well,
don't even
and
drive
Brampton
by.
Township is a prime example. They have never, ever updated, in fact, and I'm not picking on those guys at all, because they're right next to Gladstone. You know, and Gladstone has very robust playgrounds and
Yes,
that type
beautiful.
of thing. So, but Brampton Township, I don't know if anyone's been to Brampton Township Hall, but they have, their playground could be in a museum. It has not been touched. It is like the playground that is, you know what I mean, like the merry-go-round, still has the old wood boards on
Oh,
it.
my.
Yeah, it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. It is like, it was probably built back in the 60s and it has not been updated.
But it's in good condition?
Not bad, but I kind of made a little joke. I'm like, yeah, that's because parents are like, no, don't play on that.
We don't use it, you
Yeah.
don't wear it out.
Because, you know, we just, you know, playgrounds look a lot different these
Yes,
days.
oh, yes.
But anyway, so, yeah, so they had, and people responded, and they did respond honestly, the way they felt. And I think that's fair. We don't necessarily, I mean, we might put that, you know, here, when there's open comments, then, you know, but that doesn't, people can respond sometimes negative to one thing, but very positive on others.
That's right.
And so that it all kind of balances itself out, because anyone who wants to take a survey about their community is usually pretty passionate about their community and then live there for some reason. And you will learn that quickly when you review and they're all, you know, we don't know, nobody puts their name on them. Yeah, it's all. So it's actually, it's kind of a neat process. We do that for our master plans too. You know, we take a really thorough survey. I had one community that was pretty funny. They're actually under a lot of, or they really like functioning under the radar, and they don't like appreciate tourists. So we gave them kind of a multiple choice about how they felt about the roads. Like A, there should be more roads paved in this township. B, you know, we wish more funding would come for more roads in this township. Or C, we like the roads just the way they are. It keeps the tourists away. And 58% of the people said they like the roads just the way they are because it keeps the tourists away. So you know what I mean. You get the sense of it, and you know you can't deny it. So. So otherwise, yeah, I don't really have more to share. If you guys have questions, I'm happy to answer anything. I guess I'd like to know when your next meeting is so that Jessica can show up with. So can I look at this recreation plan just to see if we have, because I just don't.
Okay, the contract and everything.
Because I must have talked to her and she could not find the last one.
That's what I'm
Or
thinking,
was
that's
you
how
one of the
I
two of yours?
remember it. And I'm trying to think of, so this, I wonder if this one.
I
oh,
think
yeah,
Joel
so-
Schultz was still working for you at that time.
Yeah, and you know where I think this might be now, is now that I'm thinking about it, it might be, did Ben DuBois do this? Do you know?
It could have been Ben, if I remember. I think it was. That's a long time ago, but. Did he work there when Joel was there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Ben.
Okay, that explains a lot. Now I know where this is located. At one point, we were getting this funding from the state called Regional Prosperity Initiative, and we tried doing a regional plan. So I'll bet you got a real bargain on this, is what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was, I know where to find that now, okay? So that was part of this Regional Prosperity Initiative under Governor Rick Snyder. And so we took those funds and tried to maximize, get it out to the community however we could. And we always there's a lot of communities that want recreation plans, master plans, that kind of thing. So what we did is we said we were going to take a look at all the recreation plans that were coming due in this one particular funding cycle, and then we would subsidize that. We would take those funds, we would prepare recreation plans for communities that wanted to participate. And it was probably just a few $100, maybe $500 or something
I
like
think it was
that.
like $200.
Okay, yeah,
If I remember.
yeah, that's.
We ain't
yeah,
getting that
yeah,
now.
yeah.
From what I follow on the phone.
I know.
anyways.
No, and it's not, so we're $75 an hour.
Yeah.
So, and it usually takes, I'm gonna say to $100 or more, you know what I mean, a little bit more. So, but that would be, you know, that's kind of where we're at. And our prices, we haven't gone up for, I don't know, two years or something like that.
But without one, you cannot get the grant.
No, you can't get a grant without it. You have to have an updated 5-year recreation plan. That's true, yeah. So now I know where to find that, and that is online. We do have it under, well, we have it parked under the regional, a file called Regional Prosperity Initiative and all the different projects that we did. And one of them was doing multiple recreation plans for about 5 or 6 communities whose recreation plans were ready for renewal on that, at that time. So, yeah, so that's that. And so we won't, you can go ahead and keep that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions for Dottie? Well, thank you so much for coming to see us.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It was really nice, actually.
Our next meeting, if you want to let Jessica know, will be February 20th
Okay.
at the same time, 7 your time.
Okay, perfect. I will let her know. Paper here. February 20th, 6 p.m. Central. And another thing that Jessica's going to want to do is not only make sure that the survey is readily available for everyone and gather any input you guys have on additional questions that you would like asked. And actually it looks like your previous recreation plan had some really good survey questions too. So you may want to expand on what she provided for Brampton Township. Because like I said, every community is different. That's not a cookie cutter template, that's just an example.
Okay.
Anyway, she's also going to want to make sure that we've captured all the stakeholders. And we're talking stakeholders, it could be members from like the senior center. It could be maybe a teacher would like to get student input on what sort of recreation facilities they would like to see in Meyer Township. It could be, anyone you think any community leader or organization that you feel, or they feel that they would like to be able to weigh in on the process. And that's great, because then we just bring them in. I think one of the final questions on that is, would you like to participate in the process and receive draft copies of the recreation plan as we go through the development process or something like that. So, so that's, she'll probably have a little chart or whatever. So just keep that in mind. Not only any revisions to the questions, but then who else should be involved in the process, in the planning process. So, all right.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you again.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks you guys, and thanks for getting me on top of the agenda, because I'm headed back to Marquette.
All right. Well, drive safe.
Thank you, bye-bye. Bye.
Okay, Maxine.
All right, audit. Talked to Peter today, and he sent a new journal entry to put in this time. So we'll get that put in, QuickBooks. And he said, once this is put in, this one, then we'll have our QuickBooks mirror the last audit the state of Michigan has. So once we get that entered, then they'll need another new backup, and then they can roll forward with the new year. And we'll be starting the first audit. So it's taken them this long just to do that, to match the state. So otherwise, yeah, we'll get, I have it here, 60 entries on it. So we'll get those put in. I'll have Carol assist me.
Okay.
And then we'll get it in right, and then we'll let Brooks know to do a backup, and then, put it in through SureLink. So yeah, if I can get a login to SureLink so we don't have to bug you.
As far as I know, maybe you'll have to go back and check in the inbox on the treasurer email. You were sent an invitation to the SureLink right after the offices changed.
Okay, so look way back to November.
Yeah,
Okay,
because I had to start the clerk one over again in order to do what I've been doing for you guys in the meantime.
okay. I'll look. Okay, so that's the audit. Credit card. The credit union's not like user-friendly on anything. So it's finally in process today.
Okay.
So, paperwork is going. So they want a couple tax returns, so I'll have to look through the stuff and get them something from 23, 24.
Okay.
And then, but she's working on getting a couple cards. And take a little bit to get them, got a $5,000 limit on it. Yeah, we need bylaws and articles of incorporation and 2 years of tax returns. So I'll have to find all that stuff.
Okay.
I'll be looking. So then can you add me to new business too?
Sure.
I'll be number E.
Do you want to do the, or do you want to talk about the CD now, or do you want to say?
Oh, is
for
that, do
then?
I have to slide down there? Because that's not old business?
While you're rolling, you may as well keep going, why not?
Can I just ask a question before we proceed? So a couple of cards, who are the holders of those couple of cards?
Be me and Linda, because we're signers on the accounts. No, they're just not gonna be out there for everybody. Okay, so the CDs. Right now, the credit union has two CDs. One just expired the other day on the 15th. The other one doesn't mature till the 1st of March.
Okay.
One is, the one that just expired, we're at $16,000. Do you need that money for anything? Can I roll it into the other one and have one CD?
If that's what you want to do, sure.
As long as we're not gonna need 16,000 for something in the next, cause I was gonna go 3 years on them.
Is that the best rate?
No, the best rate is at 5 years.
Oh,
But I have a question on that.
you can wait for public comment for your question.
It's regarding the CD, sir.
It can wait for public comment time, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Township Supervisor.
You betcha. Go ahead, Max.
All right, even though it's a March 1st CD, end it quick, because it's only getting 0.44% interest. We'll get penalized 90 days of interest, which is only gonna be like $80. But then even if we put it in a 3-year, we're gonna get 2.65. So we'll more than make up the interest lost the first month. So instead of, we'll lose like $80 the first month, we should earn about $350 on it.
Okay.
And do you want two or do you want one?
What do you think, Linda?
If you don't need it,
Then
it-
I'm
$16,000, I'll put it with the 155 and just have one big one for 3 years. And hopefully in 3 years,
Okay.
we'll see what interest rates look like then.
Yeah.
You know, but then we should be getting $350 a month interest on it.
Okay.
All right? So yeah, I just need board approval to
I make a motion,
go do that.
put them together for 3 years.
Okay. And I'll do that tomorrow.
Need a second.
I'll second it.
Motion by Mark, second by Linda, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. All right, I talked to Steve Tinty on Monday regarding the Jamie Malone deed and the blight ordinance revision. I have to scan and send him a few things after the meeting tonight for the deed. Information that he didn't have that he wanted. And as far as the blight ordinance, he wasn't aware that we wanted to move forward on that, so now that he knows, he'll have that ready to go for us for next month. After that, we've got to renew the border review. Paul Searcha, Henry Leesburg, and David Arnold all want to continue. So we need a motion.
I'll make a motion
I'll
for the
second.
3.
Okay. Motion by Mark, second by Maxine. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Alternates, Randy Ball, and actually I haven't heard back from Bill, so we'll scribble Bill out on the agenda. Randy Ball and Bruce Phillips expressed interests in serving as alternates. So I will make a motion to approve Randy and Bruce as alternates.
I'll second.
Motion by myself, second by Mark, all in favor say aye. Aye, motion carried, and we'll have to send those 2 guys to border review class. So can I get a motion to do that as well?
I'll motion
Motion by Linda,
I'll second.
second by Maxine, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. All right, the next thing that we have after that is the approval of the poverty exemption guidelines. I gave you all each a copy. This is what Brent gave us as far as what was passed in Norway Township for his audit that he got a perfect score on with his assessing there. So I think the best way to go forward would be to pass the same guidelines. So that we have them on file when they do his audit here pretty soon.
Yeah.
So I'll need a motion to accept those as well.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mark,
I'll second.
second by Maxine, all in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, lake weeds, anything new?
We are probably gonna do it at Wendrick's. Carol's working on what, with Kelly, probably in March. Closer to,
Is that like a Zoom meeting? Okay.
yeah.
We have the equipment there where we don't
Yeah,
have
that way
it at the hall.
It's ready to roll.
And we have rooms where we have people, where people can.
Okay.
Community college, he ain't here.
He's not here, there's something I wanted to bring up.
He'd tell me.
Cause it's early enough. We should probably look at getting those showers in the locker rooms fixed up
Pretty sad shape.
before gold medals this year.
They're pretty rough.
At least get a quote of how much it would cost to do.
Who does that go through for quoting on something like that around here, plumber wise?
like Sikora.
Oh.
Who else have we talked to in the past? I think the last time we got a quote on that particular job, it was Sikora that gave us one. But WDM, do they do that kind of stuff?
They could have Brian come down and give one.
DNL would probably be one we would talk to too.
What needs to be done in the showers?
There's
The,
all the valves.
the units are all corroded and,
I mean, if you want to get 340, you could have Merger and King would be another one.
okay. But that'd be something I'd at least like to look into and come back with some information on. So maybe,
I don't think I have Brian. I don't remember what that's.
I know when
I
Sikora
know
gave us,
Sikora did.
yeah, the last one was like, I wanna say it was like $3,300 or
Yeah.
$3,500 to do it. So, but that was back when we put the water tanks in, so that was a couple of years ago
Yeah.
already, so,
And do you typically get a couple for that, Chad, or does that look like just some comparable
yeah,
bids? Gotcha.
yeah. So if it's okay, I'd like to call around and, or maybe
I
Brent
make a
and I
motion
can
we-
both call around.
We can get a price on
I'll
fixing the
second that
showers.
motion.
Okay. Motion by Mark, second by Linda, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Sewer?
Sewer's good, running good. Both lagoons were drained, well, the last meeting he had, what he drained them and everything, so.
Would it be possible to have him get to you his budget proposal by the end of this month?
Yeah. I'll see him tomorrow.
Has he made any movements on what we voted on last month? Or
He
is
didn't
that a
say-
springtime?
That's a spring thing, yeah,
Okay.
he'll do that now. I'm sure he's probably getting quotes and stuff from different places.
Okay. Good deal.
As far as the parks, we're supposed to be getting a new shed for the field down here. That's all I heard, and, I mean, it's not costing us nothing.
So it's a donation?
Yeah. So when I find out for sure, then we have to figure out what we're gonna do with the other one. Cause it's getting pretty rough. But that's what I was told, so.
Well, that's good news.
And then once we get them cards, you can order that net. Cause we're gonna have to straighten all them poles, everything out before that net goes on there, so, but that's not till spring, summer anyway, so.
Okay, if this doesn't technically fall under parks, but I'll cover it now. I've been waiting for a day, and tomorrow's the day to take the Christmas flags down. So if anybody was gonna ask, that's the answer. It's gonna be 37 degrees tomorrow. Tomorrow's the day.
That's the day.
Yeah,
That's
It's
the
not
only
gonna
thing
be
you're gonna
bad
get.
ever again for a while.
yeah. I wanted to do it the last couple of weekends, but with that wind whipping in single digits, it just wasn't gonna happen, so.
I like looking at them, so.
Yeah. So, okay, public comment. Mrs. Kennedy, do you want to go first?
Certainly,
Okay, go for it.
Mr. Township Supervisor. My comment regarding the CD, I just renewed a CD at 4.25%. So that's the only comment I was going to make, and that's all I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
And how very unfortunate, sir, that your personal vindictiveness is very inappropriate.
Likewise. So,
I have said nothing out of line to you. Nothing.
maybe not to me.
I would like to address the issues with the minutes. I am going to suggest that perhaps prior to the minutes being presented as they are, might want to take a minute to go back through them, look for errors, so on and so forth. The one thing that jumped out at me was the last minutes, it indicates guests that are included. I think that might be better presented as residents that are in attendance, and then the guests would be added. That would be, you know, such as Dottie being here today, someone that's not a resident, that would definitely be a guest. The other thing that jumped out on me was there was no motion that was made to approve the bills and the minutes with the minutes last meeting. It was simply duplicated to approve the agenda, and there was nothing there for the minutes and the bills. The other thing is, I know it's really easy when you're faxing things through to forget an attachment, but it did indicate in here that the program was attached to the minutes, and unfortunately, those didn't make it to the website, but I do see that they're here on the table tonight. The other thing is, I did have to giggle at this one. Chad had put a call in with QPAC, and of course, the spelling on that should be C-U-P-P-A-D. Now, I got a giggle out of that because QPAC was a rapper back in 2020. And I don't think that we really was planning on getting in touch with them. One of my bigger concerns is that I indicated that I had sent an email, Chad, to you and to Cheryl on the 22nd of October, asking for the information regarding financials, incoming revenue. The only one I heard back from was Cheryl informing me she had 20 business days. That would have been November the 26th. I then stated that I sent another email on the 2nd of December, and Chad, that was sent to you as the clerk, and Cheryl.
I wasn't the clerk on the 2nd of December.
No, you were the clerk prior to that. But I did the follow-up with you and Cheryl, indicating this was the time, this was the information requested. It was due on the 26th. I still received no information. I then sent another email the morning of the meeting. In this entire time, Chad, I never even had the professional anything from you for even a response. Now, here's what I have an issue with, and I'm asking that this be removed from the corrected minutes. It goes on to say, Wilma then stated she sent over a few more emails to Linda and wanted to know why no response was made. I did not send an email to Linda. That comment was not made. I think what we need to understand here, folks, is that these minutes are a legal document, and they need to be kept as accurate as we can. Found it interesting that nothing was said in the meeting when we were asking for information, folks indicating they had real jobs, they had other jobs and not time to do these things. So, you know, all I'm asking, everything is recorded, and I understand you go through, you type the minutes up, it's a rough draft. Well, it just take a few minutes, go back, and let's see if we can't get things put out the way things happened in the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Jeanette?
I live in the housing, if nobody knows, and I've been a pain in Chad's ass for as long as I've known him. But we're having serious financial issues over there. I don't know where we are now. And I'm just wondering if you could do anything. I mean, Mark's using a township tractor to plow because we have no money.
No, Joey usually plows, but
Right.
you don't get there till later, and there wasn't that much snow, so I mean, it's still part of Irvinsville, you know.
Well, I'm not criticizing the using of the tractor. What I'm criticizing is we're $3,000 to $5,000 deficit every month. And this has been happening for a couple of years for sure that I've been, you know, looking at it or attending the meetings. And their solution is Lori wants to raise our rent by $90 to try to keep, you know, get that deficit down. And Kelly wants to raise it way more than that to get us over the deficit and in, what is it, in the black? Yeah, in the
Yeah.
black again. What's not being,
Well, there's only so much that can be done
Correct.
with that regard, right?
well, they can raise it 30% every year. But Kelly wants to go through the lady in Detroit and get a higher amount, because HUD district, or I think it's district office, but in Detroit, they can approve a higher amount. I don't care what the rent is. The problem I have is there's only 4 apartments paying a flat rent. Everybody else is below the,
Right. I
so
get what
where
you're
is he gonna
saying.
gain if he's gonna charge us, $800 more a month? How is he gonna gain the 5,000 back?
Yeah, what you're saying is most people are, according to their income, there's only
We are all, according to the
a few
income,
that pay the max,
and
right?
we get the flat rent if we're over that limit. And now we're into the flat rent.
Okay.
But it's not gonna happen. Because in order for us to get back in the black with the rents, he would have to charge them 4 apartments $1,000 more than what we're paying now.
Yeah.
We can't, the place is gonna empty out, and then that's another thing, if they raise the rent so much that the 4 apartments move out,
Oh, yeah.
and you get 4 more low income, very low income, they're gonna be hurting even more than what they are now.
It's counterproductive, sure. Okay.
And I don't know if you can think of something to change it. I mean, I've been screaming the last 2 months, and I know they're sick of hearing it, about spending. We just put $4,600 carpeting in the community room. No need. We have black mold in the apartments. We still dealing with the lead and the water.
I'll have to learn some more about it,
I appreciate it.
okay?
Thanks for listening for me.
You bet.
Do you mind if I sneak out so I can get home?
Sure, go ahead. Thanks
Thanks,
for coming
Chad.
down, Jeanette.
And if you need to contact me for paperwork, for proof of what's going on, I've got it all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Joe?
Just a couple questions. She had mentioned something about the audit. What year of audit did you said that you sent something in. Are we caught up on the years?
Yeah, I think they're caught up 2019 to 2020 matching the state.
So we're still behind 4 years?
But the 2022 one, they'll be starting on once what you said is done, right? The state will be working on the first one?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. We just had a conference call, or a Zoom call with the treasury people, Linda and Maxine and I, last week,
Yeah, with Laura and Nick.
because Laura's new.
Yeah.
She's new to the team.
Wasn't there a Brenda?
Brenda's our local, she's from the local area here.
Okay,
This was a new lady down in Lansing.
okay.
So, it was nice to put faces to the names and talk about stuff, and we'll be meeting them on a Zoom call again early February?
I think so.
Yeah, early
To start the
February.
2022s? Or
Yeah.
no? Oh,
Yeah, 21, 22.
Yeah,
2021?
2022, 2022,
Okay.
yeah.
You mean since May of this last year, nothing was done then really not at all? That was your job then.
What are you talking about?
She just said, it should be almost
They've
up
been
to
working,
date.
they've been working on it the entire time.
No, I'm not, hey, I know Maxine is gonna do a terrific job. I'm not saying that, but nothing was done for,
What is nothing in the, Ray, you don't even know what you're talking about. Tell me what you're talking
Then
about.
you tell me. She just said, what year, 2022 is not done yet?
No, they're just, whatever the state had, they finally, this, Peter and Heather at what do you say, that Manor Costera?
Casterison.
They finally got the QuickBooks tied with what the state had for the last audit. So now they can move forward into the
Which is
first
what we
undone one.
hired the accountant to do, was to line things up to be able to do the audit. So no, nothing hasn't been getting done since May. The accountants have been doing what we're paying them to do since May.
But you're still didn't set up, all that stuff should have been right on file. Why wasn't it on file? I mean,
I have another question.
Go ahead, Joe, what's your next question?
Your 5-year recreation plan here, is that just for the point you guys are looking?
No, that's for the whole
Whole
township.
Community.
Everything.
Everything as far as what? What do you mean everything? Baseball diamonds?
Baseball diamonds,
If you,
parks,
Joe, yeah,
anything.
Joe, if you have a pipe dream to have a soccer field across the street from your house, just pulling something out of the air, you can put that on your survey, and we put that in with the
Improvements
input
in
with
your
everything else.
community Can go on
You know,
this.
It's
Yeah.
more
Let's
like
go,
a wish-
Joe.
a wish
Yep.
list for Meyer Township.
It would take a lot of fill to
Right.
put a soccer field in across the street from your house.
It's kind of swamp.
Yeah.
They gotta wear glasses.
Yeah.
So you're just having, like he said, a wish list
Yeah,
For recreation.
in case you want to get a grant?
right.
Right.
Okay. All right. But I'm just thinking if it's $75 an hour at 200 plus hours, you know, starts adding up for a
Well,
wish
she had
list.
told
Well, that's
me
just-
$3,000 on the phone.
Yeah, that's just to do the plan.
That's it, yeah,
Right.
That has nothing to do with the DNI or anything.
nothing.
That's to have them do this recreation plan.
And they have to do the plan.
The last time we paid $200.
Or
That's why they
Yeah.
couldn't find it when I called them.
Yeah, but do the math, $75 an hour at $200.
She said,
Right.
she said 100.
$15,000.
Right.
No,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. She said 100 hours.
She said
Okay.
200, or it could be more. So you're talking 15 grand for a plan.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get some clarification on that.
Huh.
Because I could get
Yeah, I saw dollars on it.
probably a home engineer to do it. If that's the price, I can get it done cheaper.
Yeah.
That I know. Yeah, we have to find out for sure on that.
Yeah.
Because when I talked to the other one, she said it'd be like $2,000. Oh,
Well, when I
shit,
talked
she
to-
said that because it was only $200 the last time we did it.
When I talked to Dottie, when we set up her coming tonight, she said $3,000 on the phone at that time. But the math to what she said tonight was $7,500.
Yeah, $100.
That was $100.
Yeah.
She said $200.
She said 200, yeah.
Did she say 200?
Or it could be more.
She said 100. She did say 100.
She said 100 or it could be more.
Yes. I heard both of them.
But we'll have to find
We'll have to
out.
rerun
Yeah, we'll
our
have-
tape and see
Yeah,
what she
we'll have to
said.
watch the replay.
Yeah.
Okay, I got one more thing. The
Okay.
bill that you sent back to Luft Advertiser, you know, the bill should have been paid by the township.
No,
Well, just let me talk. It should have been paid by the township. We had a nonpartisan meeting that we all talked about, and you agreed to put the ad in the Luft's paper.
no, I didn't. I told you you'd have to do it yourself, and that's what you did.
You checked the thing.
Check the video.
You agreed to do it.
No, I didn't.
And so you didn't, so that's why I did it. So,
I told you on the phone when you said you wanted to do that, I said the township will not pay for that.
You didn't tell me that.
Yes, I did.
It wasn't voted on at a meeting,
No,
not that, because I can
No,
vote for it.
but we talked about it and you said you were gonna put the ad in the paper.
No.
Because you always did it,
yeah, but I said for that one I wasn't going to.
yeah.
No,
You-
the words were, Mr. Girdle said, we'll need to put an ad in the Lux for this.
Your
You
3
said-
minutes are over.
And you said, right. It's on the video, Chad. You said right, and then you
Should
wanna
be
go
on the
outside of
computer.
the meeting and change the agenda.
Your 3 minutes are over.
Not appropriate.
Go ahead, Ray.
Review the, Brooke, can you put that up on a computer?
I mean, anyone can pull it up. Just go to the
Huh?
For the minute.
Well, anyway, it should be on the computer.
Well, the bottom line is the township's not paying it. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to pay for it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what you say. And then, the other thing, the ad was ran twice, and she charged for 3 times.
Well, that's between you and her. That's not between us and you.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Right, we'll check the computer and see. If you said you were gonna put the ad in the paper.
You put the ad in the paper. I didn't put the
No,
ad in the
I
paper.
know, but
It
you
said Ray Gergel supervisor at the bottom of it.
Right. That's what I said now. That's what I wrote here.
And while we're on the subject of you still haven't turned in any keys or papers since you
tonight.
left
Yeah,
office.
you
Just handed him
You
in.
just did,
Oh,
At the beginning of
okay.
the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, you saved yourself that one.
Oh, I'm
All right.
glad.
Girl,
Yeah.
I'm so glad I saved myself.
is this still public comment, or have we?
Any more
Okay.
public
Yeah, go
comment?
ahead, Miss. Go
Okay.
ahead, Misty.
So I just have a suggestion. With the wrestling, it's so incredibly hard to hear. And so if we're gonna conduct this, could we consider a microphone? Is that possible? Because you have to admit, I mean, especially if folks are watching video, that creates some distortion to it. Or can we schedule?
We'll talk to the wrestling people.
Okay.
Talk to John.
I don't think the meeting change was
He
communicated.
probably wasn't
Okay.
told.
So we will fix that.
Thank you. My husband couldn't make it, but he did request that I ask when he can come down and pay taxes.
February
week.
14th or February 28th?
Will that be in the lofts or public so other folks know when they
It's
can?
on the top of your bill, but it'll be in the lofts.
Okay.
And you can mail them or you can put them in the Dropbox too.
It's gonna seem really minute, but who is cleaning or lack of? Are they not cleaning down here?
That's,
Take a look at this blanket of flies next to me.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hello.
it's pretty just.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're all over the
Is
windowsill.
there somebody supposed to be cleaning down here or no? Or is that not included in this?
Does she
or
have a
no?
key to get in here?
I don't know
or
if she
how
has
does
a key
get
for
in
this
here?
room or not. I have no idea. If that's Brent that.
Barb usually has it open. When I come down here in the morning, the meeting room door is usually open. So, but, well, we'll talk to Ruth about that.
Yeah.
And then I just have a follow-up question from the sewer department. From the last meeting, a cost of, am I reading this correctly, $46,508?
That's for the upstate lift station 2.
Okay,
The electronics
That's
on the station
everything,
too.
that box
Okay.
is fiberglass and
Yeah.
it's all cracking. So we're getting water sitting there and you start burning that stuff for 46 grand. Is it
so who supplied the quote for that?
Jason Krolovitz, our sewer guy. And
Is-
he gets bids from, I don't know what companies he goes through, cause I leave that up to him. Cause he works for the city of Escanaba, so he pretty much knows what the prices are, so.
Is
but-
that bid on, I mean, do you get multiple bids to go from that, or are we just going off Jason says it's
No, he will get
46,000,
bids,
so we-
he will get
Okay.
bids.
And then his, I see, last month we paid him $2,400.
That was 2 months, that was 2 months.
2 months?
He never says
Yeah.
the frickin' thing is.
And then,
Yeah.
I see back in August again, another one, $2,100.
Yeah.
So that's a couple months of accumulation of his maintenance, or what is that, what does
Yeah.
that look like?
That's, he turns in his timesheet monthly,
Okay.
and sometimes it doesn't get in before the cutoff.
Does he have a contract?
I don't think he does.
No, he's not, he's an hourly,
Hourly
he's an
employee.
hourly employee,
Yeah, he's an employee.
whereas Brent, our assessor, is a contract.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then last thing, is there any update you can give us on the training that was recently, MTA training that in January that everyone went to?
Sure.
I learned a lot of things I didn't know. It was very interesting.
I was surprised Mark had never been to one before. In 12 years.
that I've never been,
I'm shocked.
nope. But it was, I learned a lot.
Did you all attend?
Yep.
Yep. Then they broke us all up into groups, all the trustees were in one room,
Perfect.
Yep.
supervisors.
I know when I got out of mine, the doors were still closed on Linda and Maxine's classes, so theirs must have went a little longer.
There was stuff, yeah.
Did you learn anything?
You bet.
Yeah. Well, that's the main thing.
And meeting minutes was one of those items that was discussed and.
That, I don't know, I wasn't in there.
Well, I think it's important to understand the timing of that, right? And then the approved and unapproved, and that way when it is all voted on, do we approve this? Do we approve these meeting minutes? It means that we looked at it, Paul Wolster was not in attendance here, right? And so that's the whole point of, that's why they're put out,
You
they're
know,
unapproved.
we're gonna
and
have a
approved.
sign-up sheet just for you.
Yes.
And
Thank you, I'm
it'll
honored.
It'll be
Feel like
done,
asked.
so we know who he is and he is, she is.
But I'm
And if
pretty
you
sure
print
when you had
legibly,
classes.
we can see this.
I'm
who
fairly
this
certain
is.
when classes, they said you don't need to identify specifically every township member. I'm fairly certain that was probably discussed, that that's probably not a great
I wasn't in the
measure.
clerk.
No, and it didn't say that.
No.
But it did say identify them specifically who's in attendance.
They always did before, so
They did
I'm
before.
doing the same way it used to be.
Mhm.
Yeah?
And the other townships do it too.
Linda, don't
Because
do it
we
the same
checked.
way as it used to be. We're in a deep doo-doo here about the books and everything else.
She ain't talking about books, we're talking about the minutes.
The minutes.
Yeah, don't do it the way they used to do it. We gotta
There was
do
no
it right.
problems with the minutes before when they did them.
As long as you sign in, so you know who's.
Well, and
As
are
long
we
as
talking
we
the
know
timing
who's-
factor though? You're saying there's no problem with having them in a timely fashion? I mean, I'm sure that was discussed at the meeting. I'm sure that was clearly identified.
Why the
Why
minutes
they're
aren't quick
gonna-
enough?
Right. Why
No.
did you want them done tonight?
No, I'm saying, I'm sure they shared to you what the expectations were for minutes when they had to
Right,
be.
and I had them out within what, a few days last month?
You have what, 7 days, I think, is what it's supposed to be?
Five.
Five or seven?
And the approved
I don't
within
remember.
5?
Yeah,
Nope, they're just
I had them, I think it
approved.
was, yeah, it wasn't long at all.
They're to the next board meeting.
Mhm.
Unapproved out there until the next
Right.
board meeting.
Yeah.
Unless there are changes, if there's changes,
Right, and
then
then
the
you,
corrections need to be sent out within 5 days after the board meeting.
right.
One thing I see there wasn't in the minutes is nothing about the mailboxes that were knocked down at that lady's house there on the corner. And I think that's some retaliation for speaking up about the board and.
There's nothing we can do about somebody's
There was
mailbox
nothing
getting run
brought up
over.
at the meeting about mailboxes. What are you talking
Yes,
about?
there was.
You,
He brought it up at the last
Did
meeting,
he?
but we have no control.
I understand that, but we had. a
If we're
board-
putting in the meeting who
What I'm
chuckled,
saying, we
and
had
who,
board
I think we
members
can
that
put
were
what
knocking
actually transpired.
mailboxes down, and it's scot-free, they got along scot-free. It's the same group of people, that's what I'm wondering, if the same group that did it before are doing it again,
I have no idea.
you know?
Misty,
I'm sorry. Sorry, Chuck.
are you done?
Yep, yep.
Okay. Janie?
Yes, who donated the new shed? Are we allowed to hear?
The guy who builds them,
Oh,
who builds them in town here.
okay. I figured.
I wanna make sure
Yes.
that's gonna go through before
Okay, gotcha, I understand. Where'd the old shed come from? Was that one that we? was that-
honestly, I don't know.
It's been there for years, pardon?
That, it's been there for as long as, I think it was ever I played baseball.
All years? Oh, it's a full yard?
Oh,
yeah.
Kingsford, yeah.
Kingsford,
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Well, good.
You want a board comment now?
Yeah.
You go first with that, or?
I was gonna save this for last.
Oh, all right, I have, our fishing derby is gonna be on January 25th, don't screw it up. At the pond from 9 to 3. And if any, they're catching some nice fish down there. So if anybody wants to go on the William Madison Sportsman's Club Facebook and look to see, because I put pictures on there. And we had that trapper's workshop, and there's 2 kids that got a beautiful bobcat. 2 little, I don't know how old they are, but they have our pails.
They're elementary, probably.
Yeah, they have
they're like maybe.
UP
fifth
Trappers
grade.
District 3 Wayne Manor Sports Club workshop, and it's, I mean, that's what it was for, to get these kids into trapping. But they're catching a lot of fish out there. I went last weekend from shack to shack and talked to people, so.
I did put them on the flyer. I got rid of the clip art, so there is some
Oh,
around
some of the kids that
of,
are out
of the
there.
actual fish that were caught here a few weeks ago.
Yeah. So I have time in the weekend, I'll go down there, get some pic, or I tell them, send me the pictures and then we put them on, so people can see, you know. It's unbelievable. Well, of course, nobody can fish it all summer because of the weeds. So, I mean, they're catching, one guy got a 42-inch northern, anywhere from 30 to 38 inches, so I mean.
So what, there ain't no weeds in the winter?
Yes, but you can, I don't know why, dogs, they gotta figure out where the weeds stop, where they're really bad. Well, them fish are gonna come in and feed, no matter what you throw it out in there, you know, so.
Plus, they don't grow in the winter any farther either.
No.
And because of the water temperature.
Yeah.
I know
But I just wanted to put
Brenton's
that
been
out.
Predator
posting
hunt?
videos of
Yeah.
following his
Predator
baits
hunt?
through the ice and
Oh, and our
there's
predator
some
hunt
nice fish
is
swimming around in there.
January 30th to February 16th. I moved it because we didn't have any snow, so.
And UP Whitetails is going to be there. We're having a luncheon for
Yeah,
all the people who bring
at
in
the
their.
predator hunt, UP Whitetails will be there paying bounty. I think it's $20 a coyote.
Not 100% on what.
But that's what it was the
That's what
last
they paid
time.
last time.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to come down on the 16th, registration's from 11 to noon to register your animal. We have food and stuff there, so feel free.
And Purple Cow Pizzas.
That's you.
Fireworks.
Well, you're part of the fireworks.
Well, I'll let you do that spiel.
Do I have, can I?
Because I'll screw it up anyways.
Go ahead.
The fireworks committee is selling Purple Cow pizzas. They're 16-inch pizzas. We're making everything fresh, the dough, the crust, and
They're taking.
You might want to throw out what the purple cow is because not everybody here knows what that is necessarily. Most of us do, but not everybody.
well, the Purple Cow, it was a little
I mean,
deli that we had in
Mrs. Kennedy,
Hermansville.
Mrs. Kennedy wasn't here for that. Joe wasn't here for that.
It was-
yeah.
Joe was.
Joe knows, he's a fireworks committee member.
Oh,
I've
okay.
known about the Purple Cow for a couple of
But-
years.
Used to take
Okay.
my
So
son
anyway,
Fair enough.
we're doing the pizzas, Marcia, we got the private recipe or for the dough, we're not supposed to,
Top
Marcia
secret.
knows it. And
Top secret.
anyway, we're trying to sell to make a few extra dollars towards the fireworks. And we're trying to do them you'll pick them up on Saturday before the Super Bowl, so you don't have to, you can throw them in the oven or you can freeze them. But anyway, we're selling them and I
Pre-order.
What's the price on them?
They're start at, I believe it's 16, and the sausage and pepperoni are like 22, and then there's extra cheese for a couple bucks more. So it goes cheese, pepperoni, sausage and pepperoni, and they're 16-inch.
Because I
brought some order forms with me, so.
I would bet our insurance probably went up a lot this year. I haven't checked with Spielbauer's, but it's went up everywhere else, so.
It's been on a percentage rate of
Yeah,
what
I
we
usually go
order.
by how big a order you have. But I'm sure it probably went up too, but.
So,
Why is the excavator up there?
Because they were taking some dirt out of there. Newry's work.
he wasn't interfering with any of the
No, I put
paths
stakes
or-
up there that they couldn't go past that.
Cause we have concrete and stuff
Yeah.
up there. That's all I have, sir.
Any other board comment?
Yep. I need approval
No.
for your lake project there,
Oh,
to get an account at Northern Interstate Bank,
Yes,
so
you
we
do.
can put our pennies in there.
Every penny counts.
I'll make a motion for that.
I'll second.
And Menard's reading it.
Yeah.
Motion by Mark, second by myself to create a lake weed tax account, or lake weed How, what do you wanna call it?
high yield money
The
management
late
account.
weed
Yeah,
tax revenue account?
yep.
Millage, yeah.
All in favor, say aye. Motion carried. Linda, do you have anything?
Nothing.
All right. I'm saving the best news for last. Gonna try to do this every month. Leave everybody on a high note. So I'm gonna come pass it out to you. We received word last week that the road commission was awarded $3.5 million to repave 388 Class A from the Wildwood to Faithorn.
Wow.
Nice, that's a 10-mile run.
Or do you do it?
3.5 million for 10 miles?
Yeah, that's about 100, over
All the
100,000,
details
over
are
100,000 per mile, a mile.
We already knew it.
Dottie almost let the cat out of the bag.
Hey, Chad, when they say to Faithorn, how far into Faithorn, is it like?
Right
To 577,
Okay,
right in front of the bar.
yeah, that's what I thought,
Yep.
okay.
As far as I know, that's the biggest grant award for either our township or Faithorn ever.
Are they gonna be able to get bids on this for this year?
Well, I guess we'll find that out on the 28th when we meet with
It's
them.
kinda late in the year, no more.
How
No?
did this come to fruition, Chad? Can you give me a little history or background, or who? Was this a grant that we applied for, somebody applied?
The
for?
road commission applied for it, and then our township and Faithorn added letters of support onto it.
There were several groups that was working on it, applying for the grants.
And then does this work then go to Menominee County Road
No.
Commission themselves, or?
Well,
No, they'll bid it out.
They couldn't handle it.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go, right
So
in
we
town.
get to, who chooses the bids?
All the way to the bar.
What's that?
Who
I
chooses
called
who
the
gets
governor
the
on this
bid?
particular
county.
The
project.
county does, okay. So they control
I
that.
did,
Yeah.
and I told her, you were at Faithorn, you gave a speech, and you must have came through Hermansville. And they called me back in 2 weeks, they said, we're gonna have a guy call you, and he did. And that was Alex that did this. So,
That's awesome.
I'm glad I did something right.
In 4 years you did that, that's good.
One thing.
I got nothing else, you guys,
All
all right?
right, nope, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Second by Maxine, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
10% of
Bert, you notice that lady from Tucson?
Yeah, Dottie? Yeah. I graduated.
Oh, did you? Oh, Bruce. This guy, you know, I told you was
I
Donke's
didn't
sister.
I never seen her for years.
No,
Bruce, I'll get a hold of you.
I still couldn't believe when
We'll
he told
probably
me I
do an
was.
online class.
Okay.
Gotta do it down there.
She was in school.
All right.
It's Donnie, no one thinks
She, we still, my mom and dad's house, we still have one of her paintings from when she was in high school. Yeah.
The focus on field's got